Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Coffee Break, and welcome back to the CoffeeCast ProCast Edition. And this is going to be game number 2 between our winner, MVPDream, as the Red Terran, spawning on the top right-hand side of Daybreak, and the loser from the previous game. I almost called him the victor. That wouldn't have been right. The loser from the previous game, it is going to be SKTPartinG as the blue Protoss player, spawning in the 7 o'clock position, bottom left-hand side, once again here on Daybreak. Parting never really able to kind of get himself going in that previous series. Dream up here on the top right hand side. Dream started out with a pretty nice 3 racks aggression. It was 2 tech labs and a reactor on those barracks. Moved out with stim pack and combat shields. Was able to kill off quite a few probes in the early game. I believe he got I believe it was 16 probes that he killed off in the early game. And pretty much just took a dominating lead from there, continued on with his aggression. Once he got a couple of medevacs out onto the field, just a couple of minutes later, he pushed out again. And by the time he hit 4 medevacs, Parting just couldn't really muster up much of a defense against that. And MVPDream was pretty much just able to take that. And with, I'm just gonna go ahead and say, pretty much take it with complete comfort. I mean, I don't want to pat it at all, sugarcoat that at all for Parting. He pretty much got rolled in game number 1. But this is a best of 3 series from the IEM, which means that he's going to have a chance to continue on and take game number 2 to bring us to an ace match. So we'll have to see if he's able to do that here on Daybreak, which I can only assume was his pick. Can only assume that. And I just want to say, this isn't anything super new out of Terran players, but I love it when people just lay down this extra supply depot on the wall and then just kind of send that scout out. The supply depot actually really low on health. Okay, there we go. SCV already coming over there to finish it up. I'm always a little worried when players only leave it with like 40 health though, because you never know that, if you just stop paying attention for a couple seconds, that probe gets a few zaps at it, they can actually kill that supply depot and you don't get reimbursed for that. So it's always important to make sure that you at least continue to keep an eye on that. Parting, it looks, is going to play a little bit safer this time around. In the previous game, I believe he did a 1 gateway expansion before Cyber. I don't know, I wasn't watching the Cyber time, to be quite honest. But at this game, he is definitely going to be throwing down that cybernetics core first. Going to be pumping out that first Zealot fairly quickly, I can only assume as well. And not allow MVPDream to do any sort of bunker pressure. Not that the bunker pressure really did anything in the early game, but it was a little bit annoying. It forced SKTPartinG to pull, I think he used 6 probes off the mineral line, and 6 probes in the early game is kind of a big deal. I mean, that's not units that you just want to be sacrificing. Parting going to be starting out with a Stalker, started out with a Zealot in the previous game. The Zealot is really used to help thwart any sort of aggression in the early game, so you need the Zealot. But if you see your opponent's not doing anything too crazy, for instance, we're just getting a 1 racks gasless expand out of MVPDream here. If you believe that your opponent's not going to be doing anything too crazy, then you can skip the Zealot, go straight for the Stalker, and begin denying scouting. This Marine placement was absolutely phenomenal. Going to be able to stop this probe from Parting from, oh, well, I guess not. Oh, there we go. There's a couple more Marines. I was going to say, he's going to be able to stop the probe from getting the scout off. Did end up getting that anyways. So, as far as Parting knows, there is no natural expansion here. He does not actually know about that existence yet. He can once again kind of assume that it's there, but considering what he saw in the previous game, might want to play that just a little bit more carefully than he otherwise would. Going to be dropping down these additional 2 gateways. It's going up to 3 gateways, going to be dropping the Robo in just a second. Kind of like the 4-gate Robo is the standard for Protoss players in PvZ. I would say the 3-gate Robo is kind of the standard in the PvT matchup, getting the 3 gateways for the Warpins versus Barracks aggression, and then dropping the Robo, getting the scout off, getting the Colossus onto the field to defend against that 10-30 drop play. MVP kind of ish. No, he's not even doing anything near the same thing. No tech lab down on the barracks yet. These 2 gases much later this time around. He is going up to a total of 3 raxes. But that's pretty standard, just getting the extra barracks on the field, start pumping out units, because unlike the Protoss, they cannot just randomly start warping in units when they realize that they're under aggression. 3rd command center already on the field. The Stalker's trying to poke forward. Needs to be careful with this Stalker. He's really low on health. That's an expensive Stalker. Oh man, needs to be careful there. And going to try to turn around and kite these Marines, but that Stalker, I mean, just one little misstep, and that's going to be a lot of resources just immediately down the drain. So he's going to wisely back out. Like I was saying though, 3rd command center already on the field, going to be morphing that in to an orbital command, getting the extra muling power, extra SCVing power. So Dream already taking an earlier natural expansion, already going to have an earlier 3rd command base up. And that's going to put him at a very nice economical lead going into the mid-game here. Factory already going down. MVPDream actually just looking on top of the freaking world right now. This build has been flawless by him so far. Parting not doing too bad in his own right, but once again, I mean, he's just a little bit behind here, a little bit behind there, and that's no fault on his part. He just kind of got metagamed, actually, in game number 1 with that heavy aggression, and now he's being forced to play it a little bit safer this time around. No, is there an observer? There's the observer on the field right now, going to be dropping the Twilight before the robotics bay, considering the fact that he actually has not gotten in here yet to really scout off. I actually kind of disagree with that decision to go straight for the Twilight Council. I would have loved to actually have seen the robotics bay go down first, start getting the Colossus just in case any sort of medevac timing is coming out. But that is his decision there. The Twilight going to be coming on the field, probably going to be pumping out Charge with fairly quick succession and getting the Templar Archive down on the field as well to start getting Storm out onto the field. And that would also allow him to feed back any medevacs that are on the field. And even though, this observer, that observer's not going to have a good day in about 2 seconds here. Nope, never mind. He's actually just going to get away. There might be running down. I don't even know. That observer should die fairly shortly here. I'm actually surprised it stayed alive this long. And these Marines are like literally positioned right underneath this observer, but no scan is going down. I'm actually a little confused about that. Is there a stim pack? There is stim pack coming onto the field right now. Not done yet. Still about 30 or 40 seconds away. But that's not too big of a deal because it doesn't look like Parting is looking to do any real aggression anytime shortly here. This observer is going to get the scout off on this third base. So Parting is going to know what is going on in his third base. Just now getting created, but the third base for Dream going to be much, much faster here. And the harvest account already showing, well, both players even at least. And it looks like now Dream going to be taking a lead in that fairly shortly here. 49-49. Mules coming down. Triple SCV production to, well, no SCV, no probe production. Definitely going to be going over into Parting's favor. Parting actually looking like he's going to be doing a bit of aggression here. Needs to be careful. He does have the Archons on the field, which is going to help quite a bit. Needs to be careful with that force field positioning, though, with the Archon, though, because I don't know about you guys, you Protoss players out there, but I have an awful time using Archons. I love using them, but I have a bad habit of laying down force fields in front of the Archons and then just smashing them to pieces, and then nothing really works out quite right. So, as long as you can use the force shield properly like that, or, I mean, of course, you can just use the Guardian Shield instead. It looked like he might be, I don't know what he's doing there. Oh, he's trying to get the Marauder in the medevac there, because it looked like he might be doing a little bit of a loop around, going to, needs to be careful about flying over this army. Those medevacs are very exposed right now with only a single Marauder and a single Marine on the ground. I don't know if the force fields were really worth it right there. That was not going to have a very good time over here. I think he got the kill. No, he didn't even actually get the kill. That Marine, oh my gosh, that Marine either got picked up or healed. One of the two. He got picked up before he got slashed by the Zealot. That's a very, very good play by MVPDream, literally making as much out of every unit as he possibly can. Dream does know about the third base of Parting now. It looks like he's going to be pushing up near this outdoor expansion, probably not going to be running up the ramp because of these sentries here. That just would not go very well. Oh, needs to be careful with the sentry positioning. Does get the force shield down on the ramp, stopping that sentry from dying and maybe buying himself a little bit of time. But again, I highly doubt that Dream was looking to actually do a push there. This pylon going to go down, so no aggressive warpins, counterattack warpins, no flanking warpins out of SKTPartinG there. So it's going to be, I mean, that's probably not going to be a huge loss there, but that does take away one little option that Parting could have done. That also was a little bit of a scout there. If a drop was going to be coming in from the east side, Parting would have known about it, but not anymore. Ghosts coming onto the field. Mobus Reactor, I can only assume, is done at this point. If I can find that stupid Ghost Academy. Yes, there it is. And Mobus Reactor not actually completed. Going to be going for personal cloaking first. Instead, MVPDream going to be trying to move up the ramp there, but a couple of beautiful force shields going down on that ramp, going to deny that immediately. Storm getting near halfway done. For those of you who don't know, you want to warp in a couple of High Templar when your Storm is about halfway done. That was a little bit early on the warp in for the High Templar. Not that it matters all that much, but that's kind of like the ideal time to start warping in your High Templar. Looks like a stim Bioball going to be coming over into the third base there. Going to be able to snipe a pylon, but not much more. This pylon did take about 3/4 its damage as well. Pardon me, 3/4 its health. And then MVPDream is going to back out. I love the strategy that MVPDream is doing. It's just non-committal attacks, doing guaranteed damage while taking absolutely no damage himself. He's broken down the, no, he's not broken down the middle rocks, but he'll just poke in, he'll kill a pylon, and in there he could have rushed up, he could have taken out the, did he just stim to kill off these rocks? Oh my goodness, hope Day 9 didn't see that, because he would have a conniption about that. But he'll run in, he'll kill off a pylon and go, okay, cool, I killed the pylon. And then he'll run away. He doesn't feel the need to run in and kill the extra probes. He doesn't feel the need to try to snipe the Archon, try to snipe the sentries. No, he just does the damage that he can, guarantee he can do without taking much damage himself, and then fall out. Spending Dab definitely showing MVPDream in the favor there. We can see he's ahead in every single category. The specific numbers, as I always say, don't even matter at all in there. I just like looking at the overall who's ahead, just kind of in general principle there. Looks like, oh my goodness, I might be trying to run up the ramp. Couple of nice feedbacks going down on the Ghost there, but these rocks are really kind of being a hindrance there. I really don't feel like MVPDream should be running up this ramp. There we go. Now going to be taking out the rocks. In the meantime, using a small force running up the ramp. Going to be able to snipe one Archon that was warping in, and then immediately fall back. Once again, a beautiful play by MVPDream. Parting not playing too bad himself, but he cannot engage on at this angle. These Charlots will not be able to get the surrounds that they need on this ramp. And MVPDream looking to have a beautiful contain here on Parting. Going to be continuing to rally forces out across the map, and with those middle rocks down, going to be able to get a perfect scout off as to what's going on. SKTPartinG now going to be coming down the ramp. That's what he needed to do. I don't know if he can really afford to engage as MVPDream falling back to a ramp back near the 4th base. Good positioning by Dream there. Not going to allow Parting to get the surround, even blocking off one angle on this wall there is perfect there. And now, oh, one storm does go down, doesn't catch too much off there. And all these go so low on energy that feedbacking them would almost be worthless. I don't even know if there are any ghosts here, because snipes did just go down on the remaining High Templar. Parting going to be running back up into his natural expansion, forcing MVPDream to run up the ramp if he wants to engage, but no, actually going to be turning around and trying to engage on the ramp. Again, I just don't feel like this is the positioning that SKTPartinG needs to engage his head. Finally getting the robotics bay down on the field, but I feel like with the fact that Parting's 3rd base has been on the field so long, I feel like that robotics bay has been greatly delayed, and that he should have gotten that on the field much sooner, especially considering, just look at this bank, 1,650 over on the other side there. So plenty of bank to be getting that down earlier. That was a huge blunder by SKTPartinG, I feel. In the meantime, it looks like there's going to be a bio ball in 3rd base, while MVPDream does move into that natural expansion as well. No counterattack from Parting, which is is the only way. I feel like that's the only way that he could really take some pressure off himself. Maybe like a Warp Prism counterattack over in the 3rd base. But that's not happening right now. And now Dream just kind of having his way with what's going on right now. Going to have a nice little group here, nice little group of forces there. And Parting's army, while it is decent, Dream just has the positioning, and that just goes to show right here what good army positioning can do for you. I mean, MVPDream is actually outmatched in army right now, but he's been able to hold on for so long with this pretty much minimal force there. A couple of great EMPs going down on top of that army. Going to bring this Archon to very low health, going to bring the Zealot shields down as well. And currently, I would like to mention there is no AoE on the field for Parting, as he's out of storming energy, and this Colossus just now being started up with that extended thermal lance. 4th base is now on the field for MVPDream. It looks like Parting going to be trying to establish a 4th base of his own. Dream just sticking on this high barracks play right now. Lots and lots of barracks, going to be continuing to pump out medevacs onto the field. He's not really going to have the Vikings on the field for the Colossus, but I don't think it's, I mean, as long as he can just keep these ghosts on the field, kill off the Gateway army, he can buy time to get the Colossus out on the field. I feel like he won't be able to engage this army once 2 or 3 Colossus are with the rest of the army, but until those Colossus get into the army, Dream still does have a perfect advantage. And once again, even once those Colossus do get in the army, then Dream just falls back home while he makes double Viking productions. That was an awful way of wording that, but you know what I mean. And then could push back out once he has the Vikings. And the 4th base for SKTPartinG going to be destroyed there. That was not canceled either. And that means that Dream is going to feel content moving on into the 3rd base, seeing if he can do anything. Scan did go down. There are so many ghosts in this army right now. There are almost 16 ghosts. That's 14 ghosts in this army right now. That is just ridiculous. 3-3 coming on the way for Dream. 2-2 finish for both players right now. And this is a much better engagement angle for Parting. Now the Colossus is going to be helping out in this engagement. Cloaked Ghost going to be creating a great wall right there. Good storm going on by Parting though, and that's going to force Dream back for the moment, who's lost quite a few of his forces right there. So many medevacs in this army that the bio is just lasting so long. But these cloked ghosts just wreaking havoc against the Zealots. Ghosts do so much damage to this light that I think one of their underused capabilities, and I think that's what a Dream is exactly using them for here. And more reinforcements come in. A good storm does go down on this army, but the Ghosts and the Marauders have so much health. They have 100 and 125 respectively there. This one Colossus, I just don't feel like it's going to be enough for SKTPartinG. It's 149 to 95 supply. It's 4 bases versus 3 bases. Another Colossus does come and join on the fray, but unfortunately he had a bad rally point. He's going to be able to take out a couple of the Bio Forces, but the GG from Parting and MVPDream is going to take this series 2-0. Oh my goodness, I'm actually glad I took the chance to cast these. I almost didn't. I almost just went on and did Mazel casting instead. But this has been a lot of fun. I'm glad I can finally get some content back up online as well. If you have not, please hit the subscribe button for this channel and leave a comment below letting me know what you like, what you didn't like, what I could improve on. I really do appreciate it, and I do try to get back to you as quickly as I can. And there's going to be an additional button on this page, just like there was at the end of the previous video. If you want some more amateur casted StarCraft content, then please go over, help me out, and help out an organization I like a lot, the Heartland Esports Association. Help us build out by going over, following the Heartland Esports link that I have here, and watching some of those videos and supporting some of these younger players that are looking to be up-and-coming players as well. So until next time, folks, I thank you very much for joining in with me here. Thank you for giving me your time, and until next time, this is Coffee Break, signing out. Oh, and make sure to join in for the break room on Sundays at 8:30 and Wednesdays at 8:30. It's where Sleeper Cells, Light Kite, and myself will be playing dating simulators and other games and just making fun of each other the entire time while telling awful relationship stories. Woo!